Alright guys, don't be fooled. There is a comic shop in here. I promise. I am a trucker, but more importantly, I am a comic fan. Hey guys, Truckin' Nerd here, and welcome to the third episode of Comic Stops. Today we are in Buffalo, New York, and I have some good news. So, thanks to my beautiful sister and her awesome fiance, I now have a microphone and a tripod that comes with a remote so that I am not bouncing all over the place in between clips, which I know can get annoying. So, Brittany and Yelson, thank you so much for giving me my early Christmas gift just because you guys believed it would serve me better now rather than later. I am one step closer to providing my viewers with the kind of content I want to give them. A couple more things I need to get, but otherwise, this definitely helps. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And I love you guys. You know, a lot of people thought these guys were annoying, but I actually really like them.
Oh my goodness.
All of this stuff is signed. What got you into comics initially?
So I grew up in downstate New York, right in New York City, right in Brooklyn, and I grew up in the projects, and so anytime I could get my hand on comics, man, I would do anything to get comics, every nickel that I had, and it made me a voracious reader, which led to me actually putting myself through college and law school. I'm still a practicing attorney besides having this as my dream. So what got me into comics was just that love of the written word and having like a different avenue to approach it. You know, when you're force-fed just regular books, it's hard sometimes to have that passion. But when you have something that's like every week it's different and it's new and it's fresh, or every month depending on the frequency, it was just exciting for me.
When did this shop first open up?
So we opened up 1811 Comics, which got its name, just as an aside, because the building was built in 1811 in 2014. So we've been open since 2014.
Okay, and what made you decide to open shop?
Well, so I've owned Sweet Jenny's, which is a chocolate and ice cream shop that's been in existence since 1985. I've owned that since 2010. And when we moved and bought these 3 buildings, which are historic landmarks, the second floor wasn't rated for a whole lot of people, so we had a decision to make. Did we just use it as storage, the second and the third, or did we turn it into something great? And I thought, kids, you have ice cream and chocolate, and let's get them reading, let's get them interested. And also, the medium wasn't doing great until these movies came along and a new generation has kind of embraced comics. There was a time where it was really going downhill, and we thought, what can we do to get kids really, back into the hobby, back into reading? So
I mean, I'm not necessarily catering to kids, but I feel like my mission of my channel sort of fits that same bill.
Yeah, man.
And I'll tell you what, guys, pay attention, because I honestly believe that if you have any extra comic books just laying around and you have friends that have kids or anything, throw them one. Just gauge their interest, see if it's something they're interested in, because comics are awesome.
Well, I mean, but the lore of them and the idea about comics is as old as time itself. We've always told stories like this. The Greeks and Romans had stories of gods and heroes where you could be more. Every culture has that mythology that makes you want to either emulate it or at least respect it and learn from it. So it's important to all of us. Humans love those kind of stories because it gives them archetypes and role models and heroes, and also an escape. I think a big part of me growing up, as I said just a couple minutes ago, very poor, was that seeing what these people could achieve, either from modest means, or someone like Peter Parker who was a wimp who became a hero, or someone like Wolverine who was short and ugly like myself. So
all right, and who is your favorite comic book character?
Wolverine, so I jumped the gun on that. Yeah, man. 5'4", 180 pounds. I mean, yeah, the adamantium led to it, but I was a heavyset kid. I was 225 as a kid, and I'm just 5'5". So Wolverine, man, all the way, every day.
Who is your favorite comic book writer?
You know what? This is a funny thing, and if you guys look up soon, me, because I just wrote a comic with Al Garza. He did Ninja Boy, and he was on Supergirl, and he was on Gen 13, and so we just wrote a comic called Sandwenches for a new company that's coming out. But in all honesty, I mean, I love a lot of writers. Like my friend Adam Gorham, who's an comic artist. He just wrote an episode of Godzilla that's coming out, but he was an artist on TMNT. He did the G.I. Joe Street Fighter crossovers. I mean, just lots and lots of stuff. He's been in a lot of Marvel books. But I guess the era of X-Men 2, like the Chris Claremont, and then I'm trying to think, names for writers is hard. Names for artists people throw around all the time. Jim Lee, I love blah, 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 but for the writers, it's a little bit harder for me. So.
Okay, you may have already answered this, but who is your favorite artist?
So it's different for different things. Like if we were having like an hour-long conversation, you could say, well, who's your favorite that evokes a feeling or an emotion? Stan Sakai, because Usagi Yojimbo, and I met him and he was a sweetheart, and it was important to me. And I have some mixed ethnicity back in my background, so the Japanese culture appealed to me. If you're talking about like what artists got you into comics, I really love Joe Madureira because it crossed that bridge between anime and comics. But at my age and my looks, I'll give you guys a peek, belie my real age. I'm deep into my 40s, and for me, like when Image came out, all those guys from Image. I mean, it doesn't matter who it was. Everybody who's still around, Liefeld, and everybody. So, but as far as being the nicest human being and most talented artist, Ken Lashley, because Ken Lashley he comes and does signings here before the virus. We would have artists come out. So we had the Finches. There's a piece up on the wall. Dave and Meredith were here. They were great. Joe Jusko, who used to do the Marvel Masterpiece trading cards when I was a kid. He's been out for signings, but Ken is a special person, and Ken Lashley's art, I mean, and just what he's been able to accomplish. So I'm
in his Facebook group too.
He's great.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah.
And
Al, of course. Go
ahead. What are you reading right now?
So because we get all the books in, because we own the shop, we actually like read almost one of everything that's out. But I've been I guess I've been really impressed with what they've been able to do with the X titles again. And I was really excited they're doing the 90s X-Men cartoon, which unfortunately won't be out for 2 years, so I hope I live that long and I'm healthy. But I've been really impressed with the X books. And I haven't always, but I think they've been doing a lot of great stuff. So it doesn't matter whether it was Marauders, whether it was, all the relaunch, because they made a lot of titles with what they have going on there, where they live in the utopia, whether it was the relaunch of Excalibur, anything. I'm really enjoying the X titles. So I'm excited for this upcoming Wolverine story that they're going to have with all the different lifetimes and stories and the deaths and stuff. So.
Okay, and last but not least, what is your favorite book that you have in the store?
Yeah. My favorite book right now, because it's dear to me, is...
People say their favorite superhero is Batman. They really mean Bartman.
I'm Bartman.
We're practically starving here.
Starving? You. By practically, you mean not really.
Well, it looks like you're the one who needs to be taught a lesson, pal. Class is paying 101. Your instructor's Casey Jones.
I feel like I've been hitting a home run with the comic book shops I've been picking. Because, the first one, it had nearly anything you could think of involving, nerddom or geekery, whatever you prefer. Then the second place I go to is the largest comic shop in the nation, or in the world, I'm sorry. And now this one that doubles as an ice cream / chocolate shop and a comic shop, all owned by the same guy. The place was awesome, and I got some free ice cream out of it, which was really good, apple and honey ice cream. If you're ever in the Buffalo area, come check this place out. It's pretty cool, and the owner loves comics. It's kind of disheartening when I go to a place and I find out that the owner isn't really a fan. He's sort of in it for the money. This guy, you saw it. There was pictures of, signed pictures of him with all these celebrities and stuff like that. Stuff all over, signed and personalized. The guy truly loves it. It's his life. He doesn't need it at all. He's an attorney. So, this is purely for his love and fondness of what we all love. So I really found that pretty cool. Well, on to the books that I got for myself. I got The Green Arrow Longbow Hunters by Mike Grell. Here we go with the glare again. Sorry. I don't know anything about it. I'm not even a big fan of Green Arrow, but I listened to the Kevin Smith podcast, and it's called Fat Man Beyond, and he got asked a question by a fan, and it was, what is a list of comics that you would recommend to someone who's a new reader? And one of the first answer he said was Longbow Hunters. So, I'm thinking Green Arrow, this has to be a killer story for him to suggest the Green Arrow. So, I don't know. I'm willing to give it a shot and see. Maybe it's going to be the best thing I've ever read. Who knows? So, I'm pretty excited about that. One of my friends called the Green Arrow a Batman clone, I guess, meaning super skilled, rich boy, doesn't love his life, and he decided to do something about it, and he has no powers. So we'll see how that is. The next book I got, the second and last book I got, was Reckless by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. Don't know anything about this series. Don't even know if this is like the first volume, or, you know, if I need to get something else before I read this. I know there's Criminal. I don't even know if they have anything to do with each other, but I've been seeing this everywhere. So, you know, I figured I'd grab it and just check it out. The cover looks awesome. I didn't even crack this open, so I really don't know what's in store. But it looks good, and I hear these two together. I mean, Brubaker alone is amazing. I'm not familiar with Phillips, but apparently these two together, they're, you know, banging out some bangers from what I've heard. All right, so I asked the owner of the shop, what is your favorite book in the store right now? His first answer was something that was not for sale because it was personalized for him. So I said, well, do you have anything that I can buy to give to my viewers who like, comment, and subscribe?
Do it.
And he took me to a rack that had floppies. And what he showed me was G.I. Joe. I'm going to try and line this up somehow. G.I. Joe issues 287 and 286, or 286 and 287. They line up to create some kind of picture. There's a couple of different issues that do that with this run. I'm not the biggest G.I. Joe fan. I don't really know anything about G.I. Joe. I haven't seen any of the movies or anything. But the art looks cool. I know that much. I mean, for him to say that this is his favorite, there's got to be something really good in here. I talked to Laura in Married with Comics. If you don't know her channel, check it out. There's actually something that I'll be bringing up about her channel soon. But she said her husband reads it and it's really good. And the only thing is, I didn't think 2 floppies was enough for a giveaway. I'm going to respect what they pick, and it will be in the giveaway. But if I don't think it's enough, I'm going to give you guys something else too. So for this week's giveaway, included with the 2 floppies of G.I. Joe, you're also going to get Kingdom Come by Mark Waid. Don't know anything about this. I asked the owner. He said it's pretty good. I know it's like a major DC event. And Mark Waid's great. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of at least one thing he's created. So the cover looks great. The art looks awesome. It kind of looks like a painting, not really cartoony or anything like that. But so yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. You'll get 2 copies of G.I. Joe, and you'll get Kingdom Come all in one. So 3 books for free. Very simple. Now, the next giveaway. I haven't reached 100 subscribers yet, but at the rate my channel has been growing, I think it's safe to assume that at the time of this video's upload, I will have reached 100 subscribers. So if you do the same thing that you would have done for these books, now you can't win both of these prizes, but if you do the same thing, like, comment, and subscribe, and if I have 100 subscribers, you will get a signed print, wow, sorry guys, of Billy D. Williams, worth $100, and it has a letter of authenticity on the back. So this is the real deal. You'll get Lando Calrissian signed by Billy D. Williams himself. So you can either win this, or you can win these 3 books. And the last giveaway, Laura from Married with Comics is doing an interview with someone pretty significant. I'm not going to give anything away, but she's doing an interview with someone who's kind of noteworthy. And for that interview, all I'm going to say is it has to do with Batman, and you'd figure that out by these prizes. So you get the first appearance of Chase and Todd, and you get the signed print by Ken Lashley. If you go over to Married with Comics channel, you go to their latest video, which should be released the same day this video is released, and you comment who your favorite Robin is, whatever the rendition. And also at the bottom, comment "Truckin' Nerd sent me." We'll decide which answer is our favorite. good luck to everybody who participates. There's a lot of cool stuff here, and I'm kind of jealous of you guys. All right, guys, so hindsight is 2020, and I realized today that I forgot to mention yesterday what Married with Comics is actually all about. They're a little bit different from other comic content, solely based off the fact that they are a married couple that both love comics. They read them, they review them, they share different opinions on them amongst themselves, and they also do interviews. During the whole month of October, they had a theme where all they were, reviewing and talking about was horror comics. So they definitely provide some good content, and they really care. When I decided to start this channel, the first person I went to for advice and feedback was Laura. We're all in a Facebook group together, and I've worked on a couple projects before, and she's always given me solid feedback. I've gotten a lot of, oh, that was great, and you did perfect, and, keep it coming. And I would get those same things from Laura, but she would also say, but this. So I would say for about 70% of the improvements you've seen so far with my videos, you have Laura to thank for. So whether or not there's a giveaway, they're absolutely worth checking out. I would definitely go to their channel and just see what they got. You will not regret it. So that about wraps it up. I'm in Buffalo. I'm headed to Louisiana, right on the border of Texas. So I got to get to bed so I can get there tomorrow. But we'll see where the next comic stop is going to be. And with that being said, take care. I'll catch you on the next one. Over and out.